Hello and welcome to another episode of our little community cast. We have Nighthunter in the north, who would actually move if I told him to. In the yellow. That indicates that this was a custom game. That should be interesting. And on the other side we have Brutus from the Czech Republic. Both of these boys are streamers under the same name on Twitch, so definitely go check them out. With the Dark Elf Reaper boy in purple. I like it, I like it. Do we see? Nope, triple woodcutter build. Not too shabby, not too shabby. So, economy build for him here. We have a nice little occultist coming up in the north. And I'm pretty sure... yeah. Oh, single hunting cabin. Very old school start. Let's see what he makes do with it. Ooh. Is that because it's a custom game? We actually see their inputs? Or have I just never been paying attention? That is actually really good. Hang on. Player camera. Oh, nice. So now we can actually go ahead and check where the players are looking. I hope. Okay, maybe it doesn't work. That looks suspiciously like it doesn't work. So we will see. We will see. Cannot use that feature. That's unfortunate. I think... Nope, no extra spiders actually.
Gebäude fertiggestellt.
That gets that one first. That's interesting. Well, kinda has to by now. But that means he's gonna basically not be able to afford a spider before he can get the hunting cabin up in this sector. So that's gonna delay him a little bit. But also Brutus as well. Sorry, Nighthunter as well. Not going westwards towards the food sectors. Wants to grab his forward sectors first, so he can't get grabbed early on. Because that's a bit of an older strategy. When you were playing very new people, they would just go forward and grab this sector off of them when they were too slow. But it's fallen a lot out of favor. It rarely works, and if you don't get it, you're pretty far behind on your own sector count. So most people don't do it anymore. So looks like we're going double economy opener. That should be interesting. Let's see. So Nighthunter on the occultist has not spent his points, so that's not worth looking at. And Brutus hoards souls, double deep water, reanimate souls, and I'm expecting some next level corruption here. Sorry, could not resist. Let's see what he will do with it. Do it! Do it now! Do it, Anakin! Ah! Players are so uncooperative. They never think of us poor casters. Trying to do their best, keeping up with them, and then they're slower than we are. How terrible. Are we accidentally sped up? It looked like it. Let's see if we see anything fancy. I think that's only the second hunting cabin. Which indicates, yes, not a single unit left. The walk has gone down. And... ow! Nothing from Brutus either. Very greedy builds from both of them. So for now no one gets punished because nobody has the force to do anything about it. And that is where scouting could come into play. If you scout that kind of approach from your enemy and decide to transition into a rush, you might still be better off. Then again, Spellforce strategy is build strategy. So it's a bit harder to instantly swap compared to other RTSs. But if you recycle some buildings, you can definitely do it. You just have to know what you're doing. Which most people don't, including me and a lot of the top boys. Since it is a bit of a niche game with a small player base. So you fall into tricksy traps of doing the same over and over. Without having to think too much about it. But Spectre keeping an eye out for the Golem, which would be very ambitious. Or better said, keeping an eye out for a Medusa Steel. Which isn't a bad idea. But both players almost immediately, 4 minutes 40 if you ever wanted the timing for the Medusa on this map. Going for it now. Though Nighthunter is doing it just with 2 goblins, and unfortunately he's not close enough for the big cleave. So that's might make things a bit awkward here. And misses the second cleave as well. So that's a bit of an awkward situation. We might even lose a gobbo here. And I think, yeah, Brutus doing the cowardly thing. Splits them apart a bit, so he has an easier time clearing them without that much damage. If he loses some zombie, that's fine, as long as he doesn't lose spiders. Already 2 goblins down, so a bit of more wastage on Nighthunter's side. But he definitely has the economy to back it up.
Wir werden angegriffen.
In the long run. Do we see anything fancy? We have 1 Hall of Pain coming up. Just getting, I would assume, yeah, got both of the high food sectors next to his base pretty early on, so he doesn't lag behind in that regard. Because Dark Elves always have a weird economy sometimes. You always feel like, sometimes you feel like you've done everything correctly, and then you just still run out of wood or food. And you're just sitting there like, what? I was just fine, and suddenly I'm not. Meanwhile, the orc just completely runs you over. Which I would assume... no. I think the tier 1 is Risen Kalrak, right? Yes. So it hasn't gone for the fast attack. Oh, but getting a woodcutter would be nice. That's worth a couple gobbles. Since Dark Elves really need a lot of wood, and having to rebuild that woodcutter also requires wood. So if he can get that, that's a win, even for a couple gobbles. He should be pretty happy about that. Meanwhile, we have some points not spent. Lots of deep waters here. Really doesn't want to run out of any kind of focus anytime soon. So no power upgrade or anything of the like yet. And unfortunately, he doesn't have much of an army at the moment. I'm seeing a lot of Blood Harvest picked up. Maybe I'll have to look into it again. Like, I get it why you would pick it later in the game, but in the early game where not that many units die, you probably better be off with Death Resilience and just grab it on like a level 6 or so.
Gebäude fertiggestellt.
But that requires more testing on my side. For now, I'll trust Nighthunter's instinct to make it worth it. He is up against another swarm faction, so there is a lot of death occurring. But I think the small radius isn't that big, so he basically has to cleave them himself. And oh, gets it. One of the first iron mines here from Brutus. That could be quite brutal. As well as, speaking of brutal, only 1 Hall of Pain. And is level tier 2. Which of course he is, because we just saw the iron mine. But I would assume the same counts for Nighthunter soon. Yeah, he's grabbing it now. It's a pretty later than usual. Orc tech up, because we've seen hunters coming out at like minute 8.5, probably even earlier. But got his soul farm going. If he could snipe that, that'd be actually pretty huge. Does have 3,000 hit points to chew through though, and with that amount of goblins, that's quite a feat. But gets another woodcutter, which is really nice. It's gonna delay the iron mines again, though he does have 3 coming up and coming here. Level 4, level 4, so whoever gets a golem first is gonna be in a pretty good spot. Orc doesn't necessarily need level 5. It's not that huge of a power spike for them. It's a decent one, but compared to like the Reaper, who really wants it and needs it, it's not that big of a deal. But Orc iron mines are also coming up. He pre-built them nice and early, so they are ready in time when the tier 2 is taking up, and they were. So nicely done there, nicely done there. And the economy damage is really sticking it to Brutus here. The Halls of Pain is going to be delayed, lots of delaying here due to the lack of wood. And then if you want to factor in, he doesn't have any infiltrators yet, so that is also down to not being able to have any wood. But oh man, he looks good in purple. Sends a little soul home. So they do passively grab souls near them, but generally speaking it's easier to just do the burst harvest. But also nice control there. Doesn't use them with the army. Really uses his control groups well. So what's Brutus up to? Yeah, that counts. Sorry, I was thinking about Nighthunter when I said Brutus. But yeah, can't afford his upgrades yet. Double Hall of Pain, a little bit, a couple spiders from the main. Versus, that looks like the poor Goblin Tide. 23 goblins and 32 goblins and counting. I wanted to go that. Yeah, a lot of the horde coming up, so hunters and brutes. No strength in numbers yet, as well as no eco upgrades, but I'm expecting to come that very soon. He just needs to think about it for a second. And, whoa, one early sleeper, which doesn't have his upgrade yet, I would assume. So if you can pump them out in numbers, the twirly boys here are really gonna do a number on the mass gobbos. So the question is, can he grab the sleepers faster and upgrade them? So the forge, yep, whirling blades coming in. So the next 10 eyes are gonna go into that. And then basically just pure spiders into sleepers. If he gets a critical mass, that's gonna be good. We're only up at 45 gobbos. The iron mines have not been working at full efficiency yet. Which is actually curious. But it's probably because a couple of them are leveled up. Oh, he's going for his Walk Rider strat again. I like to see that. That might actually mean that he... Now, he does have the Hunters and Brutes. I'm trying to find a Blood Forge. I'm sorry for just skipping through all of that. And there we go. And which I believe 15 iron. Walk upgrade is coming in indeed. It's gonna turn him into budget hunters at 50 damage apiece. Also, I think it gives him like slightly higher HP. We'll have to check on that. So we'll see how they perform. They'll perform pretty good. Ah, actually, I lied. It's the only resistance they have, sleepers, is their little PS1. So this could be tricky if he catches him off guard here, which he looks like he is, and without any range support. This fight is really tricky, and he's not microing his spiders, so he's gonna lose a lot of them. So here comes the Goblin and Walk Tide. Good to see them back at it again. So he's gonna get most of the XP at least, as long as that thing goes down while he's still here. Ooh, that's a nice weakening, especially in front of the Golem. If that one would just cleave again. Oh, who gets it? I think, yep, DElf gets it. Nicely done, Brutus. Gets the hell out of there. And, okay, 10 focus, 250 health. That's not bad for a Reaper. Though he has over-invested a little bit in the deep waters. Oh no, everything is low. And that's where the Guardian of Noor always shines. It's just really getting these guys up and running again. And oh my. So we have 9 sleepers, 12 tarantulas. I would assume the tech is done. It is indeed. Tarantula tech also coming up, which gives him a chance to slow. And my man is making me proud. Going for Scoundrel into Brutes with some Walk support. It's nice to see. So basically the idea here is you can either split this army or just go full on against the enemy army and just send the Brutes after the outposts / eco buildings. And go for it. We'll see what he decides to do with them. Looks like he wants to go after the Adamantium Golem, which is pretty weak against Brutes, thanks to the siege resistance, negative siege resistance. We also have some blood armor here for 750 points of extra health pool, essentially. There's a good question. I do not know if the resistances count towards that health pool, but oh, some Brutes going down. And he decides to get out. Oh, nice. Okay, here comes a lovely Walk Harass, even though it was single file. But that's gonna clear out a lot of the ironworkers here. And oh no. Spectre Girl is eating a hot one there. Sleeper's getting surprised here from the rear. And two spiders holding the line, actually delaying them quite a bit, which is pretty hilarious. But oh, lovely Kiss of Noor here. Well timed with the resistance debuff to increase the damage in the first place. So almost one-shotting all these goblins. And oh, he didn't get it off. He didn't get the leech. Occultist goes down. That's a rare sight. And that's a lot of sleepers by now with their upgrades. So they're just cleaving away at all these units. Just pretty damn brutal. Haha. I'm here all week, folks. I'm here all week. Also, the warg's kind of forgotten about down there. So actually deciding to do some siege damage instead of marching on. Hang on, who's hiding here? Who's hiding here?
Wir werden angegriffen.
Two little gobos are hiding there. Cute. I mean, as long as it works. Gets him down there. So let's have a quick look-see. Up to 4 beetles, 14 sleepers, and a couple tarantulas. So that's a pretty tasty army. And not quite there on the micro. Didn't notice this in time. Unfortunately, he teleported with half his army. Versus 18 brutes, 27 scoundrels, and 10 walk riders. He's gonna go after that flank here, which is pretty nifty. But level 8 versus level 4. Still up and coming, and oh, there's a lot of arcane force, increasing the weakened buff here as well as the lingering curse, which can be stacked, by the way. This one doesn't give you like an icon as a debuff, but basically they can be stacked, which is a pretty one of the early Dark Elf strategies. You stack those two up on a nice blob of wonderful enemy units, and then you have like 3 or 4 basilisks, which, thanks to the siege resistance being completely debuffed, or almost completely, are actually doing almost their full damage in a big AoE. And one-shotting things. That's pretty tasty. Oh, nice. Brutes are being split off from the rest of the army. Let's see what they are going to be up to. And Brutus coming in with most of his army, even though it's always a bit disjointed here. Conga line is in full effect. Oh, that's a bit rough. Lucky for him, it's only half the orc army. I'm not sure if these have the upgrade. Let's see on the next shot. Okay, they do have the upgrade. So their shots bounce to 2 additional targets. So in this case, the tooltip actually seems correct, but nice. Look at the border fortress just going down to... Damn it. 17 brutes, which are also, I think, a little bit buffed by the Bloodforge. But let's have a look on here. There's a lot of watchtowers trying to kill that. So double attack upgrade as well as the first defensive upgrades for the brutes, which is pretty damn nice. So easy cleanup there. But uh-oh. Our boys, the brutes, are going for the main. Here they come. Even though everything up here is doing an admirable job, I don't think he's... Oh, he's missing it. They're getting the full surround. He didn't get the early teleport to deny him the full surround here. So if you know something like this is coming, you can teleport early, because that will position your units around the capital, which denies the brutes the surface area, and they have to go through you first. And GG, well played. The base snipe was in full effect. So he's made me proud. It's one of my the strategies I've been trying to devise is full gobos into mass brutes, and Nighthunter always a man to test things out. Has been showcasing just that, how you can, one way of doing it, and it was beautiful. I'm sorry, Nighthunter. Did I say Brutus? I probably did. I don't know why, but I get these two mixed up. Probably my 2 best Spellforce friends. So yeah, definitely check out their Twitch. BrutusCz for Czech, and Nighthunter321, our man from Quebec, always trying to innovate the meta and show you different ways to play. I applaud that, and I can't wait to see more of that. So I'm assuming that was like a showcase of that strategy, since this, I think it's, yeah, that must have been a custom game, as we see on the colors. And GG well played to both of them. Very, very nice. So hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time.